You don't need enemies when your own mouth is working against you. Plain and simple. At this very moment, someone is twisting your own words around to tear you down. They're probably sitting in a room, plotting your downfall, using sentences you uttered months ago as ammunition. That joke you made? It's now evidence against you. That secret you shared? It's leverage in their hands. Something they can use to their advantage. That moment of weakness you had? It's now their pathway to victory. Their opening to exploit. You might think your words just vanish into thin air, disappearing without a trace. You might even believe that people forget what you say, that conversations are private and safe. But that's a dangerous illusion. Especially in today's world, countless successful people have stumbled and fallen because of words they wish they could swallow back. Empires have crumbled because someone couldn't keep their mouth shut. Friendships have ended because trust was shattered by careless words. The ancient thinkers and masters understood a fundamental truth that we seem to have forgotten. Your mouth is your own worst enemy. It spills your secrets, exposes your vulnerabilities, and hands your adversaries the very weapons they need to defeat you. Niccolò Machiavelli, a man who dedicated his life to studying power, discovered the ultimate truth. Those who can control their words are the ones who control their destiny. Those who can't become victims, undone by their own voice. In the next few minutes, we'll explore 10 psychological traps that can turn your mouth into your own personal executioner. These situations happen to everyone, but only the truly wise recognize them before it's too late. If you're ready to take control of your words, drop this affirmation in the comments. I speak only to win. Number 1. The Rage Revelation. Anger is like truth serum. When fury takes over, your brain's security system goes offline, and your mouth becomes a confession booth. Whether you like it or not, every grievance you've silently endured, every resentment you've carefully hidden, every dark thought you've suppressed, they all come pouring out like poison. The person who triggered your anger isn't your enemy at that moment. They're your interrogator. They've just discovered the quickest way to extract your deepest, darkest truths. While you're caught up in feeling justified in your rage, they're busy gathering intelligence about who you really are beneath the surface. Beneath the mask you wear, rage makes you predictable, and once someone knows what sets you off, they essentially own you. They can trigger your fury whenever they need you to reveal something, make a mistake, or ruin your own credibility. Your anger becomes their remote control, allowing them to manipulate you at will. The most dangerous part isn't just what you say, it's who hears it. Your moment of rage becomes a permanent part of their record of your character. Your temporary loss of control becomes their permanent evidence against you. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." Command starts with commanding yourself, with controlling your own impulses and reactions. If you can't control your mouth when you're angry, you'll never be able to control anything else that truly matters. Your rage isn't a sign of righteousness, it's a weakness disguised as strength. Powerful people feel anger, of course, but they never show it. They process their fury privately and respond strategically. They understand that today's emotional outburst becomes tomorrow's ammunition for their enemies. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My anger serves me. Number 2. The Victory Parade. Success can be more intoxicating than alcohol. When you're winning, your ego demands recognition. Plain and simple. You want applause for your brilliance. You crave credit for your clever strategies. You need everyone to know just how smart you've been. But this very need for validation destroys more winners than failure ever could. Every explanation of your success is essentially a tutorial for your competitors, giving them the knowledge they need to beat you. Every revelation of your strategy is a roadmap for those who want to defeat you, laying out exactly how they can undermine you. Every detail you share about your methods becomes a blueprint for your replacement, showing someone else how to step into your role. The hunger for recognition is a trap that can snare even the most brilliant minds. They simply can't resist explaining their genius, can't stay quiet about their victories. They transform from mysterious winners into transparent losers with every word they speak, revealing their secrets to anyone who's listening. Your competitors aren't celebrating your success, they're studying it intently. They're not impressed by your achievements, they're reverse engineering them, figuring out how you did it so they can copy you. They're not your audience, they're your future opposition, armed with your own intelligence, with the knowledge you freely gave them. Machiavelli once said, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith when by doing so it would be against his interests." Sharing your success story might feel like keeping faith with those who supported you along the way. But it's against your best interests to educate your enemies, to give them the tools they need to take you down. Your loyalty should be to your future victories, not to satisfying your past supporters' curiosity. True masters celebrate internally, keeping their joy to themselves, and speak externally only when silence would create more problems than revelation. They understand that mystery maintains power, while explanation destroys it. Now, drop this affirmation in the comments. Victory speaks silently. Number 3. The liquid confession. Alcohol doesn't create new thoughts, it just removes the barriers that keep dangerous thoughts hidden away. Every drink weakens your mental security system, making you more vulnerable. Every glass lowers your defenses, making it easier for others to manipulate you. Every bottle turns you into an intelligence asset for anyone smart enough to stay sober, giving them access to your inner thoughts and feelings. The most valuable secrets aren't extracted through torture, but through the loosening of inhibitions that comes with wine or other intoxicating substances. People confess their affairs, reveal their strategies, admit their deepest fears, and expose their carefully laid plans when their inhibitions dissolve in a haze of alcohol. What might take years to learn through careful observation can be discovered in a single drunken evening. Professional manipulators are masters of liquid interrogation. They create comfortable environments, provide endless drinks, and ask seemingly innocent questions, all while their targets become more and more talkative, revealing things they never would have otherwise. They remember everything, while you forget everything, which puts you at a distinct disadvantage. Your drunk confessions become sober consequences, leading to real-world problems and regrets. That admission about your relationship problems can become evidence in divorce proceedings, used against you in court. That revelation about your business struggles can become intelligence for your competitors, giving them an edge in the marketplace. That moment of honesty, fueled by alcohol, can become a lifetime of regret, haunting you for years to come. Machiavelli once said, "Therefore, a prince, so long as he keeps his subjects united and loyal, ought not to mind the reproach of cruelty." Be cruel to your own impulses when alcohol is involved, resisting the urge to overshare. Your temporary desire to connect and confess will create permanent damage to your position, undermining your authority and credibility. The momentary pleasure of sharing secrets becomes the lasting pain of being exposed, of having your vulnerabilities exploited. Smart people drink strategically or not at all, understanding the risks involved. They know that in a world where everyone has recording devices, every intoxicated word can become evidence, used against you later. They choose clarity over connection when the stakes are high, prioritizing their long-term well-being over the fleeting pleasure of drunken camaraderie. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Clarity is my power. Number 4. The breaking point. Pressure reveals character, and most people discover they have less character than they thought when they're put to the test. When stress mounts, deadlines approach, and expectations increase, the civilized mask slips away, revealing the raw, unfiltered person beneath. What emerges is often ugly, weak, and perfectly exploitable by those who understand human psychology and know how to take advantage of others' vulnerabilities. Stress creates desperation, and desperation creates confession. Under pressure, people admit they're unqualified, reveal their struggles, and confess they're failing. They might think they're seeking support and understanding, but they're actually providing their enemies with valuable targeting information, giving them the ammunition they need to undermine them. The most dangerous stress confessions often happen to those closest to you, to the people you trust the most. You tell your family about your work struggles, your friends about your relationship problems, and your colleagues about your inadequacies, thinking you're confiding in them. But each confession creates a vulnerability that can be weaponized against you later, used against you when you least expect it. Your breaking point isn't a moment of authenticity, it's a moment of exploitation. An opportunity for others to take advantage of you. While you're focused on relieving the pressure you're under, others are focused on applying it, pushing you to your limits to see what you'll reveal. Your stress becomes their opportunity to extract information, gain an advantage, or position themselves for your downfall, turning your weakness into their strength. Machiavelli once said, It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. When you break under pressure, you inspire neither fear nor love. Instead, you inspire contempt. Plain and simple. People lose respect for those who can't handle stress professionally. For those who crumble under pressure, your moment of weakness becomes their permanent assessment of your capabilities, shaping their perception of you moving forward. Pressure isn't your enemy, your response to pressure is. Master your response, and pressure becomes a tool for eliminating weak competitors who reveal themselves under stress. Separating the strong from the weak. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pressure builds diamonds. Number 5. The sympathy extraction. Professional manipulators don't attack directly, they take a more subtle, indirect approach. They appear vulnerable, sharing carefully crafted stories of struggle, revealing strategic weaknesses, and making you feel like their savior. Like you're the only one who can help them. While you're busy feeling important and needed, they're busy extracting every piece of valuable information you possess, subtly gathering intelligence under the guise of friendship. The sympathy trap works because it reverses the power dynamic, making you feel safe and secure. Instead of feeling threatened, you feel protective, wanting to help this seemingly vulnerable person. Instead of guarding your secrets, you share them willingly, wanting to offer support and advice. Instead of maintaining distance, you create intimacy, forging a close bond that can be exploited later, used against you when you least expect it. Real vulnerability is rare and messy, often awkward and uncomfortable. Performed vulnerability, on the other hand, is polished and purposeful, carefully crafted to elicit a specific response. Learn to distinguish between genuine need and strategic manipulation, between someone who truly needs help and someone who's trying to play you. The person who tells the perfect sob story is often the most dangerous predator in the room, the one you need to be most wary of. Your compassion becomes their competitive advantage, allowing them to gain an edge over you. Every secret you share to help them becomes intelligence they use against you, giving them the knowledge they need to undermine you. Every weakness you reveal in solidarity becomes ammunition for future attacks, providing them with the means to exploit your vulnerabilities. Machiavelli once said, "Men are so simple of mind and so much dominated by their immediate needs that a deceitful person will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived." Your immediate need to help and connect makes you vulnerable to deception, blinding you to the true intentions of the manipulator. While you're focused on being a good person, they're focused on being a successful manipulator, willing to exploit your kindness for their own gain. Your kindness becomes their weapon, used against you to achieve their goals. True strength helps without revealing vulnerabilities, offering support without sharing secrets. It shows compassion without showing weakness, maintaining a balance between empathy and self-preservation. Master this balance, or become prey to those who have already mastered you, falling victim to their manipulative tactics. Now, drop this affirmation in the comments. I help without revealing. Number 6. The information exchange. Social groups operate on information currency, with gossip and secrets acting as a form of social exchange. Every secret shared, every opinion revealed, every confidence broken has value in the social marketplace, influencing your standing within the group. When you participate in gossip, you're not just passing time, you're trading intelligence, either gaining or losing social capital. And most people are terrible negotiators in this environment, giving away valuable information without getting anything of equal value in return. The gossip economy has simple, unspoken rules. Information flows upward to power, consolidating influence among those at the top, and betrayal flows downward to weakness, undermining those who are already vulnerable. The person who collects secrets without sharing them accumulates power, becoming a central hub of information. The person who shares secrets without collecting them becomes powerless, losing influence and becoming a target for manipulation. Every workplace, every friend group, every community has information brokers, people who specialize in gathering and disseminating information. They appear interested, trustworthy, and connected, seeming like ideal confidants, but they're actually running intelligence operations, with your secrets as the product and your trust as the transaction cost. The most dangerous aspect of gossip isn't what you say about others, it's what it reveals about you. Exposing your own vulnerabilities and weaknesses. Every secret you share proves you can't be trusted, undermining your credibility. Every confidence you break advertises your unreliability, making others hesitant to confide in you. Every piece of gossip you spread becomes evidence of your character, shaping others' perception of you. Machiavelli once said, "The way men live is so far removed from the way they ought to live that anyone who abandons what is for what should be pursues his downfall rather than his preservation." You might think gossip ought to be harmless social bonding, a way to connect with others and build relationships. The reality, however, is that it's often information warfare, where your secrets are traded like commodities, used for personal gain, while you focus on what should be. Others exploit what actually is, using the gossip network as a marketplace for intelligence. Master the information economy by becoming a collector rather than a distributor, listening to everything and revealing nothing of value. Watch as others destroy themselves with their own loose tongues, giving you valuable insights into their character and motivations. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Secrets flow to me. Number 7. The authority trap. When power challenges you unfairly, every instinct screams for justice, compelling you to defend yourself. You want to prove your worth, demonstrate your competence, and correct the perceived injustice. This instinct, however, is often a trap that destroys careers, relationships, and reputations, undermining your long-term goals. Authority doesn't necessarily want your explanations or justifications, it often wants your submission, a demonstration of your respect for the established order. Most challenges from authority are tests disguised as conflicts, designed to reveal whether you can handle pressure, accept criticism, and maintain professionalism under fire. When you respond emotionally, you fail the test, confirming their assessment of your limitations and reinforcing their negative perception of you. The fairness you demand doesn't always exist in power structures, where decisions are often made based on factors other than merit. The respect you expect must be earned through results, not demanded through arguments, proving your value through your actions. The understanding you seek will likely never come from challenging those who hold your future in their hands, putting you in an adversarial position. Your defense becomes your prosecution, with every word you speak to justify yourself becoming evidence of your inability to accept responsibility. Every argument you make proves you lack the wisdom to recognize when silence serves you better than speech, undermining your authority and credibility. Machiavelli once said, "Politics have no relation to morals," highlighting the often unethical nature of power dynamics. The moral outrage you feel about unfair treatment is irrelevant to your success, as power operates by different rules than justice. Your choice is simple: adapt to these rules or become their victim, playing the game or being played by it. Smart people respond to authority challenges with strategic compliance, outwardly accepting the decision while inwardly focusing on proving their worth. They prove their worth through exceptional performance, exceeding expectations and demonstrating their value through their actions, not through empty rhetoric. They understand that today's unfair criticism can become tomorrow's opportunity if handled correctly, using the challenge as motivation to improve and excel. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Results prove everything. Number 8. The revenge revelation. When relationships end in betrayal, you possess nuclear intelligence, having access to your former partner's secrets, fears, failures, and weaknesses. The temptation to weaponize this information feels like justice, a way to strike back at the person who hurt you. But revenge through revelation is a suicide strategy that destroys you more than your target, ultimately undermining your own well-being. Every relationship is a mutual intelligence exchange, with both parties sharing personal information. You know their vulnerabilities, but they also know yours, creating a balance of power. When you start revealing their secrets, you're not just attacking them, you're advertising yourself as someone who weaponizes private information, making you appear untrustworthy and vindictive. Future partners, employers, and allies are always watching how you handle relationship endings, evaluating whether you can be trusted with sensitive information. Your revenge becomes their warning about your character, making them wary of getting close to you. The most devastating aspect of revenge revelation isn't the immediate damage to your target, it's the long-term destruction of your reputation, eroding trust and credibility. Everyone learns that you're willing to betray confidences when hurt, making you appear unreliable and vindictive. Your credibility becomes worthless, undermining your ability to build meaningful relationships and advance in your career. Machiavelli once said, "Severities should be dealt out all at once so that their suddenness may give less offense. Benefits ought to be handed out drop by drop so that they may be relished the more," suggesting a more calculated approach to both punishment and reward. If you must seek revenge, do it through actions that can't be traced back to revealed confidences. Preserving your reputation and avoiding the appearance of vindictiveness. Maintain your reputation for discretion while finding other ways to settle scores. Protecting your long-term interests. Your silence preserves your power for future battles, keeping your options open and allowing you to act strategically. Professional power players handle betrayal with strategic silence, avoiding emotional outbursts and impulsive actions. They preserve secrets as future leverage rather than spending them for immediate satisfaction. Recognizing the long-term value of information. They understand that maintained secrets are more powerful than revealed ones, allowing them to exert influence and control. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is my revenge. Number 9. The competence theater. When you feel inadequate or uncertain, your mouth often tries to compensate by performing confidence, expertise, and importance, creating a facade of competence. This overcompensation is psychological theater that fools no one and exposes everything, highlighting your insecurities and undermining your credibility. Your need to prove yourself becomes proof of your inadequacy, revealing your underlying lack of confidence. Insecurity creates verbal desperation, leading you to engage in behaviors that are ultimately self-defeating. You name drop to seem connected, over-explain to seem knowledgeable, and interrupt to seem important, all in an attempt to impress others. Each behavior, however, screams the opposite of what you intend, highlighting your insecurities and undermining your authority. Your performance becomes everyone else's entertainment, with others amused by your desperate attempts to appear competent. True competence doesn't require advertisement, as it speaks for itself through your actions and results. Real expertise doesn't need explanation, as it's evident in your knowledge and understanding. Genuine confidence doesn't seek validation, as it comes from within and is not dependent on external approval. When you constantly perform these qualities through words, you prove you don't possess them through substance, revealing the emptiness behind the facade. The most dangerous part of competence theater is that it makes you predictable, allowing others to manipulate you. People learn exactly which buttons trigger your need to prove yourself, discovering how to manipulate you into revealing information, making poor decisions, or acting against your interests. Machiavelli once said, "Never was anything great achieved without danger," highlighting the importance of taking risks to achieve success. The danger of appearing incompetent feels overwhelming when you're insecure, driving you to engage in competence theater. But the greater danger is proving your incompetence through desperate overcompensation, confirming others' negative perception of you. Your fear of seeming weak makes you actually weak, undermining your authority and credibility. Master performers let their work create their reputation rather than trying to create it through constant self-promotion, allowing their accomplishments to speak for themselves. They're comfortable with others not immediately recognizing their value because they're confident in their ability to demonstrate it when it matters, knowing their worth will eventually be recognized. Number 10. The promise prison. When facing pressure, demands, or expectations you can't currently meet, your mouth starts writing checks your reality can't cash, making promises you can't keep. Promises feel like solutions because they solve immediate problems without requiring immediate capability, offering a temporary reprieve from the pressure. But every promise creates a debt that compounds with interest, eventually becoming overwhelming and unsustainable. Promise making is the language of the desperate, used by people who lack present solutions to current problems. Instead of dealing with reality, they create fantasy futures that never materialize, building castles in the sky. Instead of building actual value, they build false expectations, setting themselves up for failure and disappointment. The psychology of promises is seductive because they cost nothing up front, requiring no immediate investment. You can promise to change, improve, deliver, or perform without any immediate effort or commitment. The payment, however, comes later, when credibility is destroyed and trust is broken, undermining your reputation. Every unfulfilled promise becomes evidence against your reliability, damaging your standing with others. Every broken commitment proves your word is worthless, making others hesitant to trust you. Every failed guarantee demonstrates that you prioritize temporary relief over permanent reputation, sacrificing long-term success for short-term gain. Machiavelli once said, "He who builds on the people builds on the mud," highlighting the unstable foundation of popular opinion. Promises are built on hope, which is as unstable as mud, easily washed away by reality. People want to believe your commitments because it solves their problems too, offering them a sense of security and certainty. But when promises fail, both builder and foundation collapse together, leaving everyone disappointed and disillusioned. Strategic operators make fewer promises and exceed expectations rather than making grand commitments they can't keep, focusing on delivering tangible results. They underpromise and overdeliver, building reputations for reliability rather than rhetoric, earning the trust and respect of others through their actions. Your mouth has been betraying you your entire life, and you probably didn't even know it, sabotaging your success without your awareness. Every conversation is a potential minefield where one wrong word can destroy years of careful positioning, undermining your hard work. Every social interaction is a chess game where your words are either strategic moves or fatal blunders, either advancing your position or weakening it. The 10 situations we've explored aren't rare events, they're daily occurrences happening to everyone around you right now, constantly shaping their interactions and relationships. The difference between victims and victors isn't intelligence or opportunity. It's understanding that words have consequences and silence has power. Controlling your tongue and choosing your words carefully. Machiavelli understood what most people never learn. The game of life is won not by those who speak their minds, but by those who control their minds before they speak, thinking before they act. Every word you utter either strengthens your position or weakens it, either building your reputation or undermining it. Every silence either protects you or costs you an opportunity, requiring careful consideration of the potential consequences. In a world where everything is recorded, remembered, and potentially weaponized against you, your verbal discipline becomes your most valuable skill, protecting you from harm. Your ability to speak strategically rather than emotionally determines whether you'll control your destiny or become a victim of your own voice. Shaping your own path. The most successful people throughout history weren't the most talkative, they were the most strategic. Understanding the power of words and the importance of silence. They spoke when their words could build and stayed silent when their words could destroy. Carefully considering the impact of their communication, they understood that in the ultimate game of power and influence, your mouth can be your greatest asset or your most dangerous liability. Depending on how you use it, the choice is yours to make. Will you continue letting your mouth sabotage your success, undermining your efforts and creating unnecessary obstacles? Or will you master the ancient art of strategic communication, using your words to your advantage? Will you keep feeding your enemies intelligence through careless conversation, giving them the ammunition they need to defeat you? Or will you join the ranks of those who understand that true power whispers while weakness shouts, controlling their tongue and choosing their words wisely? Your words will either build your empire or become the tools others use to destroy it, shaping your legacy for years to come. The decision you make right now will determine which path your life follows, setting you on a course for success or failure. Remember, in a world full of people who can't control their tongues, the person who masters their mouth masters their destiny, shaping their own future. If this revelation opened your eyes to how your own words have been used against you, subscribe now for more insights into the dark psychology of power and manipulation. Gaining the knowledge you need to protect yourself. Your future self will thank you for learning these lessons before it's too late. Avoiding unnecessary pitfalls and maximizing your potential for success.